Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrek. Big shout out to all the iTrek fam that is tapping in at this very moment, man. I appreciate you guys. And if this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy videos. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. And let's just jump straight into it.
Who is the first person to ever get vaccinated? What's his name? Get ready, guys. Watch his reaction. Look. Yeah, that's his name. No, I'm not shit. That's the total joke. William Shakespeare. All the world's a stage. Look.
You're kidding.
Look how old he was. Look how old. 81. That's the number. Mark of the beast. 81.
The first male known to receive an approved C-19 vaccine was William Shakespeare?
Do you understand what they're doing? All the world's a stage. That's what he said. William Shakespeare. All the world is a stage.
To be or not, all the world's a stage. All the men are merely players.
Yeah, we're all actors. That's what we said. Like when I leave here, when I go out of your door, your son and wife don't know who I am anymore. I disappear.
Hell is empty.
And all the devils are here.
Now, you can't tell me it gets more random than that. The first person to be vaccinated is William Shakespeare? Go figure.
If AI gets so smart that the President of the United States cannot do better than following ChatGPT 7's recommendation, but can't really understand it either. What if I cannot make any better decision about how to run OpenAI and I just say, you know what, I fully hand it over. ChatGPT 7, you are in charge. Good luck. That might be the right decision in any individual case, but it means that society has collectively transitioned a significant part of decision making to this very powerful system that is learning from us, improving with us, evolving with us, but in ways we don't totally understand. So that's the third category of how I think things can go wrong.
Now you're hearing that creepy information from the owner himself. Now let's go ahead and take a look at AI's prediction for mankind in 2027. It might blow your mind.
Is so exciting and terrifying about reading this document is that it's not just a research report. They chose to write their prediction as a narrative to give a concrete and vivid idea of what it might feel like to live through rapidly increasing AI progress. And spoiler, it predicts the extinction of the human race, unless we make different choices. The AI 2027 scenario starts in summer 2025, which happens to be when we're filming this video. So why don't we take stock of where things are at in the real world and then jump over to the scenarios timeline. Right now, it might feel like everyone, including your grandma, is selling an AI-powered something.
Flippy the chef makes Spud spectacular.
But most of that is actually tool AI, just narrow products designed to do what Google Maps or calculators did in the past, help human consumers and workers do their thing. The holy grail of AI is artificial general intelligence.
Artificial general intelligence
is a system that can exhibit all the cognitive capabilities humans can.
Creating a computer system that itself is a worker. That's so flexible and capable we can communicate with it in natural language and hire it to do work for us, just like we would a human. And there are actually surprisingly few serious players in the race to build AGI. Most notably, there's Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google DeepMind, all in the English-speaking world, though China and DeepSeek recently turned heads in January with a surprisingly advanced and efficient model. Why so few companies? Well, for several years now, there's basically been one recipe for training up an advanced cutting-edge AI, and it has some pricey ingredients. For example, you need about 10% of the world's supply of the most advanced computer chips. Once you have that, the formula is basically just throw more data and compute at the same basic software design that we've been using since 2017 at the frontier of AI, the transformer. That's what the T in GPT stands for. To give you an idea of just how much hardware is the name of the game right now, this represents the total computing power, or compute, used to train GPT-3 in 2020. It's the AI that would eventually power the first version of ChatGPT.
Interstellar object Atlas seems to be heading straight for Earth. Listen to this.
This may be the most shocking news you'll hear today. U.S. astronomers have just confirmed that an interstellar object named 3I, Atlas, is hurtling toward Earth at high speed. It's not an asteroid, it's not a comet, it's an unknown object from outside our solar system. Its trajectory, it means, is not bound by the sun's gravity. It's traveling through interstellar space in an almost unpredictable direction. You may remember Ostrich from 2017, the first interstellar visitor. Now, it's the third, but the difference is this time, it's heading straight for us. Scientists say its speed structure, and energy is being released in a way never seen before. It doesn't seem like any other natural object, and there's even an unnatural symmetry to its shape. Some experts are saying it's probably not a product of nature. You can read this at, it's the universe throwing an unexplained piece of the puzzle at us. NASA and the SETI program have launched a joint observation program.
I mean, we've literally only ever had 3 interstellar objects from out of our solar system ever detected. The other one was 2017, and there's one before that. This is the 3rd object, and none of them seem to go along with normal kind of like comets, asteroids. They're all very strange. This thing is now apparently heading straight for Earth and our sun. What the is this? Is this potentially some sort of Anunnaki? Was the other thing that turned up in 2017 some sort of probe, initial probe that went through our solar system? And is this thing that's just turned up and heading straight for Earth potentially some sort of Anunnaki or some sort of other alien mothership? What?
Oh, the way they've figured out every angle to this. They're going to create a huge demand for it, and people are going to be forced to use it. I know you're thinking now, well, how can I be forced to use it? And by the way, this starts in October of this year, October 2025. I forget the name of the bill. It's 147 something something. It passed back in March, where the government's going cashless. Welfare will be on it, Social Security payments, tax refunds, fines. I'm sure they're actually going to put property taxes on it, or you can't actually like write a check out of your bank account. No, you're going to have to use stablecoin. And I'm going to call it what it actually should be called, slave coin. The SC, slave coin. Government's going cashless. Federal government's not going to issue checks any longer ASAP. This, by the way, is happening up in Canada, it's happening in the USA, it's happening in Australia. This is so bad and so incredibly evil. And this is not a hyperbolic statement. I can't stand hyperbolic statements. Can't stand it.
I mean, if I had to take the best guess ever, I would say it would make it easier for them to roll out the UBI, the Universal Basic Income. As many people as we expect to lose their job because of AI, they're going to need to roll out that Universal Basic Income very fast and efficiently. And a stable token might just do that. So I don't know. Let me know what you think, though.
A third of the Buddhist monks at a temple in northern Thailand have tested positive for meth. 6 out of 18 monks at Wat Protham in Pijit province were disrobed after failing surprise drug tests during a police raid on Monday. Officers also found meth pills, a homemade gun, and bullets hidden in the temple. The 6 monks were kicked out of the monkhood and sent for rehabilitation.
Now, there goes some insight into a community we thought was 1,000% pure. No infiltration in sight, but everything on this earth definitely has its imperfections, as we see.
Bro. What? The actor Malcolm Jamal Warner has died. First of all, rest in peace to him. He seemed like a very stand-up guy, positive role model. But I looked into this whole thing and it gets weird. First, let's start with the age he died at, which is 54. 5 plus 4 is 9. You guys know about my 9 videos, and 9 is the number of completion. But also, the show that he was famous for, The Cosby Show, in gematria equals up to 54 as well. Then let's go to the date he actually died on, which is July 20th, which is the 201st day of the year. Yeah, can anybody tell me why The Cosby Show ran for a total of 8 seasons, equaling 201 episodes? How? In which is the same number as this event 201, which was a simulation of COVID in October of 2019, right before they actually had COVID. Something tells me that we have to watch for this number in future events. Now, speaking of 9 and 201, Ozzy Osbourne has just died as well. He just performed his last concert just a couple weeks ago called Back to the Beginning, which is an odd title like they almost knew. But here's the thing. The attendance of that venue is 45,000. 4 plus 5 is 9. Now, you could call that coincidence, but here's the thing, his full name in gematria is also 201. What are the chances, right? Make sure you guys get into my Break the Matrix community because I have a whole decode section just for stuff like this. But what do you guys think about this? Coincidence or something else? Let me know below.
I mean, I don't think I necessarily believe in coincidences. At the same time, when you're dealing with gematria, You got to do your homework, man, because one number off and you're all the way left. But let me know what you think about it.
MIT just designed something that could make you a millionaire. It's a way to capture your exact physical skills and then sell them to robot owners. Let me explain. Imagine you are a master at making coffee. You perform your exact process, timing, pressure, pour, every detail. The versatile demonstration interface records everything. Now that skill becomes a file. Someone in Tokyo buys that skill file, uploads it to their robot, and now that bot is brewing your signature coffee halfway around the world. You didn't code anything. You just did the thing and VDI recorded it. That means every skill we've ever mastered could now become passive income. And some of you are about to get filthy rich. So here's the question. What skill would you sell and why would people pay for it?
I swear he was talking to me, because when I get in that kitchen and that left wrist just lock up like that, I'm gonna go ahead and see what he's talking about. I don't know about you.
Do you think it's weird how we're always on our phones, yet we never see them in our dreams? Like, when was the last time you actually used your phone in a dream? In fact, we never really see any kind of technology at all. And so there's this theory that it's proof we're living in a simulation and that something is stopping us from seeing or using technology in our dreams. Almost like it's a glitch in the system or something, like the simulation doesn't allow it. And apparently, if we could use technology in our dreams, it might reveal the truth behind what's real. But if we are living in a simulation, why would it stop us from using our devices? Maybe whoever created the simulation has programmed it this way on purpose to keep this illusion of reality, and that it's some sort of code in the system to stop the truth from being exposed. You see, technology is a big part of our everyday lives, and it has a big influence on how we interact with the world. And so if we start to dream about our phones and any other technology we use, it might cause confusion between what's real and what's just a dream.
You know what? He makes a good point. I don't think I've ever seen a cell phone in a dream. I believe I've seen a TV show in a movie theater, but nothing beyond that. Let me know if you've ever seen a cell phone in your dream, and don't cap. Let me know the truth.
Okay, so like a year ago, I drew an upside down triangle and it broke the internet. Basically, I sorted conspiracy theories from very real to very fake and dangerous. It looked like this. But it's been a year, and a lot's gone down. There was an attempted coup, people poisoned themselves with horse paste, and for some reason, some people still think that the earth is flat. But on the bright side, Britney is free now. So I've updated the conspiracy chart, and we're gonna do a whole ass series on it. Look, the holidays are coming up, and you might have to see family who believe in reptilian human hybrids, or that children are being trafficked in secret tunnels under Disney World. It's important to understand that those aren't just fun theories. They promote hatred and cause real world harm, and it might be time to talk to your family about them. I'll help, I'll provide resources. I'm going to do a video for each section of the chart, but basically it moves from grounded in reality up to detached from reality. The conspiracies at the bottom are things that actually happened, like Watergate or the Tuskegee experiment. Then we pass the speculation line and enter the we have questions category. These things are sus. What's good with UFOs? Do we live in a simulation? We don't know. Once we leave reality, we hit the unequivocally false but mostly harmless section. Was Avril Lavigne replaced by a woman named Melissa? No, and she'd probably like for you to stop saying that. Is Stevie Wonder faking his blindness? Of course not. Stop making people prove their disabilities to you. It's weird. Once we pass reality denial, we're in quite dangerous territory. Denying basic science, medicine, history harms you and society at large. That's the kind of stuff that makes pandemics last longer. And finally, we hit the anti-Semitic point of no return. Hold on one sec. The end of every conspiracy theory rabbit hole is the Jews. Believe me, I've checked. And we'll do a deep dive on this, but anytime you hear about a secret group of evil masterminds controlling the world, just run. This will be fun. And by fun, I mean I will progressively get less sober.
Oh, this is a question. Why does he have a watch on? Isn't that a watch?
How dare you? Impossible. Stop.
What is that?
It's jewelry.
It looks like a watch. I mean, maybe it's jewelry, but it's on his wrist, and it's a circle, and it's with a band.
Right.
I mean, what is that?
Mini Antikythera mechanism.
It looks like my watch.
It does.
It does.
That's crazy.
But, of course, the explanation is like, of course not. Just jewelry. But it does look like it, doesn't it?
Well, it just makes sense that if they developed weapons, and they developed clothing, and they developed shelters, if they had the sophistication to be able to construct these buildings, why wouldn't they be able to construct a watch?
Right.
An automatic watch.
I have a theory that the Mandela Effect is used to see how much of history can be altered in front of our eyes. Here's a prime example of one of that. There's this woman on TikTok who was going crazy because she swore the Fruit of the Loom had a cornucopia logo. And to the point that even Fruit of the Loom themselves put a timeline of all their logos and it never had a cornucopia. And this woman went hard. Her therapist told her, yo, you need to chill out. You need to just drop this. So she went through all of her old clothing, and lo and behold, she found a shirt with the Fruit of the Loom with the cornucopia logo on it. That shows me like, yo, I think the Mandela Effect is an operation that's running around right now to see how much of history can be altered right in front of our eyes without us noticing. And then they gaslight the public and be like, nope, this never happened.
Damn, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, bro. People are thinking about it very little. Like, oh, it's the Berenstain Bears or the Berenstein Bears or Jiffy or Jif's peanut butter. No, it's much larger than that, guys. They're using this to see, oh, if we can get people to forget certain primary things about their childhood, what can we do with history?
You know what? And also, low key, it's kind of having you go against your gut feeling. You know, if you know for a fact that something went down a certain type of way, but, you know, a certain group of people will try to convince you that it didn't, you know, it kind of makes you downplay yourself just a little bit. But let me know what you think.
The woman behind me decapitated her boyfriend when they were doing it and then bragged about it to everybody. The worst part about this, his mother found his head inside of a bucket in their home. The woman's name is Taylor Shaw Business, and the victim right here is Shad Tyrion. Now, Shad and Taylor knew each other since middle school and had been in a relationship since then. So what was different about this time? Apparently she was under the influence of something that led her to do this, is what she claims. Also, she carved out his organs and other parts of his body and scattered them everywhere. She also preserved Shad's blood and then showered in it and told detectives how fun it was. She also attacked her own lawyer during this hearing. Now, Taylor Shaw Business also admitted to loving every little detail about the murder. She said she loved the entire process, all of that crazy stuff. She then continued to engage in necrophilia with his corpse. Now, it gets even sicker here. So when the mother realized that her son was decapitated, she called the police, obviously. They searched everywhere. They found parts of the body scattered in boxes and bags inside of a minivan at one point. And when interviewing Taylor Shaw Business, she said, "You're going to have so much fun finding the organs, or trying to find the organs." She tried to claim that she was bipolar and that's what happened. She kind of blacked out. However, the jury found her competent to stand trial, so she stood trial. She didn't get away so easy from this one. This story is just insane. People out there are crazy, as you can see. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments section below. And as always, these videos are for informational purposes only.
Man, I hope they gave her like a triple life or something like that. Don't even give her the chair. You know, that's the easy way out. No, let her deal with it day after day after day. That's creepy.
This is the terrifying image of a woman cowering on her rooftop, trying to escape an intruder when he pops up behind her. What happened to this woman is like something off a horror film. It was September 2014 and Melora Rivera was at her home in California. Unfortunately for her though, she was not home alone on the day in question, although she was initially unaware of this. Melora worked as an actress and actually had a part in the Whitney Houston film Sparkle. She was in her bed when she noticed somebody in her property. He had apparently broken a panel to reach inside and unlock one of the doors. Terrified, the woman tried to escape onto the roof to alert authorities. She managed to balance up on the roof and ring 911 before, terrifyingly, he jumped up and appeared behind her. This image was captured by a passerby. Thankfully, police arrived on the scene and the man was arrested. He was identified as 29-year-old Christian Hicks. He was swiftly arrested and the woman was rescued off the roof by the fire brigade.
The definition of the uncanny valley effect is in aesthetics. The uncanny valley is a hypothesized relation between an object's degree of resemblance to a human being and the emotional response to the object. In simpler terms, if something looks extremely similar to a human, our senses can still determine that it's not, and our nervous system almost instinctually reacts with a fear response. This would have to be an evolved function for some reason, as the fear response is a survival mechanism. Could this mean that at some point, humans were not at the top of the food chain and had a predator that was capable of mimicry or shapeshifting? Indie game developer David Szymanski tweets, One of the most frightening things I've ever heard is when someone pointed out that the existence of the uncanny valley implies that at some point there was an evolutionary reason to be afraid of something that looked human but wasn't. The modern definition of the uncanny valley effect seems to refer heavily to AI and robotic imposters, but that is only a modern application of our fear response. The Outsider by Stephen King does a frightful job of imagining how a predator like this could function, with the grief eater feeding on the grief surrounding a family after losing a loved one, using some sort of shape-shifting or mimicry ability to take someone's form before committing a heinous crime, causing confusion, suspicion, paranoia, and desperation, with the goal seeming to be a total family annihilation. The grief eater showcases a similar intelligence level and consciousness to its human counterpart, but has lived so long it doesn't even know when it was born, what it is, or how many of it there are, only that there are more, and he himself is a rather ravenous, wild one, and that the need to feed drives his existence, insinuating that more controlled, assimilated, and even organized grief eaters could be living among the populace of the civilized world. So why do we fear the uncanny valley effect?
I mean, from my point of view, it seems pretty obvious. We need to be able to discern what's real and what's not. So if we can tell that something isn't all the way real, we'll know how to avoid it and deal with it that way. But let me know what you think.
Fastest man-made object in the world. Would you have a guess?
A bullet.
Yeah,
A bullet?
A missile.
A cannon.
A missile?
I'll guess a satellite.
Yeah,
A satellite, like a space probe?
Yeah, so let's go like 13,000 miles an hour.
Okay, so this is gonna blow your mind. Okay?
Okay.
So the fastest man-made object in the world isn't any of those things, and it's also the first man-made object to ever enter space. We sent something to space before Sputnik.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what's the deal. So you're thinking fastest man-made object? Yes, we have rockets. We have NASA. Air Force has something that goes like 4,000 miles an hour, a plane. And then NASA has something that goes 7,000. Then the space shuttle goes 17,000 miles per hour.
Okay.
Something that we've made that goes 150,000 miles per hour. But I guarantee you've never heard of it because it's a manhole cover. So in 1957, they're doing a ton of nuclear testing, right? They're, in Nevada, and they've just got this huge field. And they did one where they dug this tunnel that was 3 feet wide and about 400 feet deep, right? So they're gonna blow this nuclear bomb. They're testing. But on top of this tube, this form, they have just a manhole cover.
That's shot into space?
When it came down, they recorded it, and they looked back on the images and everything, and they saw how fast it was traveling. They had a camera going 1,000 frames per second, right? And so this thing shoots up into space at 150,000 miles per hour and is still to this day circling in space somewhere.
Okay, so I'm about to blow your mind with this video. We all know how many people believe Antarctica is not a continent of ice, but rather a giant ice wall surrounding all the continents of the world, and many people believe that if we cross these ice walls, there would be many other continents that have been kept hidden from us. Well, I'm about to show you a couple maps that actually show all the continents being surrounded by an ice wall. Up first is a map from Gleason's new Standard of the World map. And as you can see, it clearly shows an ice wall surrounding all the continents. This was also published in 1892, and Antarctica was found in 1820. Which means they definitely had a better understanding of Antarctica, because they literally found it 70 years before this map was published. So the real question is, why is it different today? But that's not even the craziest map. Here is the next map, which was leaked from an unknown source, and it's unbelievable. The ice wall is surrounding the continents and extends out to what looks like a bunch of other continents. And oceans, which means other creatures or humanoids are there that are being hidden from us. Let's say this is real. Why is it being hidden from us? Is it for our safety, or is it being hidden for some other sinister reason? I'm very curious to see what everyone thinks about this, so let me know.
What if you've already lived this exact moment a million times before? There's a chilling idea called the eternal return. It says time is a loop, and when you die, you don't move on, you just start over again. You're forced to relive your entire life, every regret, every mistake, every pain forever. Same birth, same heartbreaks, same death, and the worst part, you don't remember any of it. But some part of you feels it. like deja vu? That might just be your soul remembering the loop.
Listen to this eerie woman say that death is irreversible during the Queen's procession. I can't think of any context that it would fit in.
Death is irreversible, and the fact that she's, as you can see.
I mean, at least she wasn't lying, because when it's over, it's over.
Disney World, the company doesn't want you to see. If you look at a map of the park, there's a little green spot in the middle of Bay Lake. Now, there's no description of what it is, and it's completely off limits to everyone, including employees. Around 20 years ago, this mysterious island was actually another Disney park called Discovery Island. You'd take a boat from shore, arrive at the island, and basically look at exotic birds. Fast forward to 1999, Animal Kingdom opens, and it's basically a bigger and easier to get to version of Discovery Island. This sparked the very quick decline of the island. Today, it's abandoned and in ruins, completely overrun by nature. It's also heavily guarded. If you're anywhere near Bay Lake, you can be assured that you're being watched. It makes you wonder if there's more to this island than Disney.
There are phenomena that are emerging from other dimensions that occasionally interface with this dimension of 3D space-time, and people will call them alien, but they're not. A lot of people will see something like that, and there is evidence for strange, like Stranger Things, right? And those can be from another dimension, but they're not extraterrestrial. An extraterrestrial biological entity is from another star system and planet. To go from point A to B, they are dropping out of linear space-time and traversing other dimensions. So some of the phenomenon that's extraterrestrial looks very, very close to something from another dimension.
Gresh never said extraterrestrial or alien, he said interdimensional. I think that that's incredibly important.
They're not necessarily a biological entity from another planet per se.
Here we go. Good night. Oh, the shoe shot.
Did they just kiss on the lips? Did you get that?
I mean, we can't act like we didn't see it, but we also can't act like we know exactly what's going on either.
I was on the pain pills. I did have doctors just writing prescriptions after prescriptions. And all of a sudden, it becomes this vicious cycle. As they were giving me the pain meds, I was in crazy pain. I couldn't even function. But as soon as things started to wind down, you know, they would keep giving me the pain meds. You know, it got to a point where when I had the 10th back surgery, the pharmacy would call me, your prescription's ready. You know, and I would go like a dog chasing a bone, I'd go pick it up. And then finally, I just looked at myself and I said, I'm not in pain. You know, I don't need this. You know, my body hurts from all the wrestling injuries, but I'm not in this excruciating pain that I can't live with. I can live with this, the amount of pain I have.
When you go to sleep at night, your soul travels, and there are 3 possible spiritual dimensions that your soul will journey into. The soul gets bored because the body is sleeping and it just wants to come out and travel. The first spiritual dimension is with earthbound spirits, those that are trapped here in between dimensions of time. And the second spiritual dimension is the Akashic records, where every thought, word, deed, and action of every human being that's ever existed on this planet and every time frame and reincarnation that they've ever been through are stored. And the third spiritual dimension is the heavenly dimension, God's dimension. It's in that dimension where you can see the future. You can interact with high-level souls that have crossed over. But you can go to any one of these spiritual dimensions depending upon your intention before you go to sleep. Now, I go into these at will. When I actually go into deep trance and predict the future, I'm right into the third dimension.
This is going to shatter paradigms. So this researcher may have just proven that schizophrenia is not a mental disorder, because the condition that we know as schizophrenia is actually shamanism. So this peer-reviewed article discusses how schizophrenia wasn't always called schizophrenia, and that indigenous peoples all around the world actually referred to it as pre-shamanism, which is basically the state that initiate shamans experience before they commence training to become fully fledged shamans. Honestly, this paper is insanely interesting because it suggests that schizophrenics are essentially people with high perception, viewing and hearing entities that are real, but that normal people can't see. But this also has another major implication, because what are shamans commonly known to use? Yep, plant medicines and psychedelics, which is the complete opposite of what we are told. You know, that schizophrenics should stay as far away from psychedelics as possible.
So remember that conspiracy theory where it was saying if you have organ donor on your card and you get into an accident, hospitals will either let you die or actually actively try to kill you to get your organs? Well, it's no longer a conspiracy theory. It has just been confirmed by a new article in the New York Times, and it says a push for more organ transplants is putting donors at risk. People across the United States have endured rushed or premature attempts to remove their organs. Some were gasping, crying, or showing other signs of life. I'm a little speechless because this is real. This is a real thing that's happened. They have so many different examples of this within this article. I read it for free because somebody posted a gifted version on Twitter. So go there to find this article if you want to read the whole thing. It's really disturbing and this is insane. I'm going to share this story first. In 2022, when she was 38 and homeless, Miss Gallegos, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, was hospitalized and went into a coma. Doctors at Presbyterian Hospital in Albuquerque told her family she would never recover. Her relatives agreed to donation, but as preparations began, they saw tears in her eyes. Their concerns were dismissed, according to interviews with the family and 8 hospital workers. Donation coordinators said the tears were a reflex. On the day of the planned donation, Miss Gallegos was taken to a pre-surgery room where her 2 sisters held her hands. A doctor arrived to withdraw life support. Then a sister announced she had seen her move. The doctor asked her to blink her eyes and she complied. The room erupted in gasps. Still, hospital workers said the procurement organization wanted to move forward. The coordinator said it was just reflexes and suggested morphine to reduce movements. The hospital refused. Instead, workers brought her back to her room and she made a full recovery. And she's still alive today. Thank goodness. And if that doesn't scare you, because clearly, this has happened to a lot of people, and of course, we're not going to know that because they're not alive anymore. This is like so sickening and so disturbing to me that we would prioritize getting somebody's organ rather than saving somebody's life. Actually, many years ago, I removed organ donor from my license. If you're concerned about that, I would recommend doing the same thing. Having that organ donor label really overrides everything. It overrides even your family, even if your family says like they don't want to do.
That is definitely a conspiracy I've heard about for a long time. And if there is paperwork to back it and to prove that that's what they're doing, it should be on front page news and everybody should be aware for a fact. But let me know what you think about it.
Psychologists say only 3% of people naturally think like this. And no, it's not telepathy, but it is a kind of mental superpower. It's called metacognition. Basically, it means your brain doesn't just think, it watches itself thinking. While most people react like, I'm angry, you're like, why am I angry? Where did that come from? That tiny pause? That's where the magic happens. You start to catch your own biases, calm yourself down, and make smarter decisions before your emotions hijack your brain. This kind of thinking helps with emotional control, better relationships, and even creativity. But here's the twist. It can also make you an overthinker. You analyze everything, even your own analyzing. But hey, that's the price of a high-functioning brain. So if you've ever stepped outside your own head and thought, whoa, I'm thinking about thinking, congrats. You're part of the 3% running mental software on expert mode. Now drop a brain emoji in the comments if you felt called out. If this is the kind of TikTok you stop for, help me make more. Just like and follow.
I ain't gonna lie to you, that's my favorite type of person. A person that can analyze and really evaluate why they're doing what they're doing, you know, and not just move off of emotion, because that can be dangerous.
This is an intuitive exercise. Under my hand, there is a number 1 through 10. I want you to open up to all your senses and see however that comes in for you and trust what you receive. I want you to close your eyes and just take a deep breath in, opening up that awareness. And exhaling out. Trusting whatever comes in for you. Are you ready? Open up your eyes. The number is 6. How did you do?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought it was 7, man. Let me know what you got. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books, man. Hey, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching another one with me, man. It's a lot going on. If you haven't already, smash that like button. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. If you're not already a part of the iTrack fam, and I will definitely Catch you on the very next one, man.